Ruth Langsford was blasted mad by a This Morning guest after a row over her husband Eamonn Holmes. The presenter was appearing alongside her co-host husband as the pair covered for This Morning's regular hosts Holly Willoughby and Phillip Schofield. The duo were joined by guest Ruth McElroy on Friday morning's edition of the program. The mum of two appeared on the ITV chat show to tell her story of finding out that her vicar husband was gay. Ruth had been married to her husband for 16 years before he told her about his sexuality. She admitted she had considered the possibility of her spouse being interested in men for 2 fleeting moments but hadn't seen his bombshell coming. "I had no idea. It crossed my mind twice, but it's not a question you ask your husband," Ruth explained. Presenter Ruth then asked what the reason for it crossing her mind was, as she herself had thought to question her own husband's sexuality. Eamonn then asked Ruth whether her husband was in denial during their marriage or if he'd always known that he was gay. She replied, "You'll have to ask him that because, like you say, you think you know your man inside out but no one does, do they?" Ruth Langsford then admitted, "That's the thing though, I'd like to think I do but..." She never got the chance to finish her sentence, however, as guest Ruth interrupted her, stating, "You're mad then." Ruth tried to justify her comment by saying that a lot of women would probably say they know their husbands inside out. However, guest Ruth retorted, "No, I think that's rubbish." Earlier that morning, Eamonn was left affronted as he was called too fat by another guest on This Morning. Weight loss expert Steve Miller and nutritionist Kirsten Davis appeared on the show to talk about whether it was acceptable to tell people that they are fat. Steve declared that it was the right thing to do in order for them to realize that they need to look after themselves better. "I think people need to be told, but in a constructive way. I say that from the heart. We're pussyfooting around it in the UK," he said. "Before you mention the F word to someone, you suss it. To our loved ones, if they are fat we say it as it is, but we help them to lose weight. I'm not going to make an apology for using the word fat." Amid the argument, Eamonn found himself at the center of the debate when he asked Steve whether he would call him fat. Agreeing that he would, Steve told the presenter, "Would I say you're fat? I would say, Eamonn, I adore you but you are too fat." You've got to be told, but at the same time you also need to be given some solutions to help you lose weight, such as me coming to live with you for a month.